Right. So today we're diving into this article called "The TikTok Heart Attack" by Stephen Pinkwart,
Oh, yeah.
and
This is a good one.
it is good.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating kind of thought experiment he does
Eh?
here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so like the basic premise is like just imagine
Yeah.
that all of a sudden 170 million Americans just lose access to TikTok.
Oh, my God.
Like it's just gone. And like all of those like dance challenges and the conspiracy theories and everything's just like gone.
All those influencers who built their careers, their identities around it.
Yeah, like what do they do?
What do they do? I mean, it's a digital
Oh,
apocalypse, right?
yeah.
It's a meltdown of epic
It would
proportions.
be fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
And I think like
What would they do? Where would they go?
I think one of the things that's so interesting about it is it really kind of reveals something about our relationship with social media.
Yeah. Yes, and this illusion of control that we think we have.
Right. It's like
We don't.
Pinkwart says like never build your house on someone else's land.
Exactly.
Like you can have that like perfectly curated like digital castle,
Right.
but like
You're at the mercy of the algorithm.
at any point.
You're at the mercy of the platform itself.
Yeah.
And so at any moment, poof, it's gone.
It could just disappear and you're left with nothing.
Yeah, you're left with nothing.
So Pinkwart, he dives into this concept of control
Mm-hmm.
by imagining a conversation with his future self,
Yes.
like 30 years older, presumably wiser.
Yeah.
Um,
And definitely less susceptible to all the
yeah, and less like
yeah.
caught up in the internet trends
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about this like using this fictional dialogue?
I think it's clever. It's a clever literary device.
Yeah.
I think it helps him kind of, explore these anxieties that we have about time and, our goals and, are we actually achieving anything? Are we using our time wisely?
Right.
Are we just, chasing likes and
Yeah.
and validation while our real lives are passing us by?
Yeah, and I think like, sometimes those are questions that we don't really want to hear the answers to.
Yeah, especially not from a future version of ourselves who's seen
Yeah, exactly.
how it all plays out.
And it's interesting because like future Pinkwart in this dialogue,
Future Pinkwart.
he doesn't hold back.
No, he does not mince words, does he?
He's like, listen, time is not this like infinite resource that's just
Oh.
waiting for you to get your act together.
Yeah.
Like it's a finite commodity and you're squandering it.
Tough love.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a wake up call, I think, for
Mhm.
all of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get caught up,
Yeah.
in the pursuit of,
Sure.
those little dopamine hits.
The likes and
The likes,
the fall.
yeah, the shares, all that.
But
But are we actually doing anything meaningful?
yeah, and I think that's kind of the core question here.
Yeah.
Is like
What is it all for?
yeah, is it worth,
Yeah.
are those 15 minutes of fame
Right.
worth, giving up
Sacrificing your actual
our
fame.
dreams or are those perfectly posed selfies really a substitute
Right.
for genuine connection?
Or are they keeping you from having that genuine connection?
yeah.
Keeping you from being present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Pinkwart, he doesn't just leave us there
Thankful.
in that place of existential dread.
Well, he offers some advice.
He does.
He does on how to
Okay.
break free from this cycle.
Okay, so grumpy future Pinkwart
Yes.
gives us the doom and gloom, but then he's also like, all right, here's what you can do.
Here's a life raft.
Yeah.
Here's how to climb out of this hole.
I'm intrigued. What does he say?
Well, he suggests that we should use writing
Right.
as a tool for self-discovery
Okay.
and personal growth.
So instead of like posting another selfie,
Right.
I should be writing like a deep soul-searching essay about all my anxieties.
Well, not necessarily,
Yeah.
but he does propose a specific framework for writing
Okay.
that is designed to make us think,
Mm-hmm.
to make us feel,
Okay.
and ultimately to make us act.
So what is this magical writing framework that's
Mhm.
going to save us from social media?
It's deceptively simple,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
simplicity, as he points out, can be very powerful.
Yeah.
He breaks it down into 4 steps.
Okay.
The first one is starting with a relatable crisis.
Okay, like the TikTok heart attack.
Exactly. Something that resonates with your reader.
Yeah.
Something that taps into a shared experience of uncertainty or loss.
Oh.
Okay, so that's step 1.
Got it.
Step 2 is bringing your reader directly into the dialogue.
Dialogue? Yeah. Like an actual conversation?
Exactly, with quotation marks and everything.
Okay.
He suggests having a conversation with your future self.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
I know.
You want me to write, like,
Ah.
a story about myself arguing with my future self?
It's not as crazy as it sounds. Think about it.
All right.
Who knows you better than your future self?
That's a good point.
And who can provide a more honest and insightful critique
Okay.
of your current choices?
Okay, yeah.
No one?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Right.
I'm listening. This is getting good.
It's like having a personal life coach who also happens to be a time traveler.
Right.
Okay, you ready for step 3?
Yeah, hit me.
Be raw and honest in the dialogue.
Okay.
No sugarcoating, no holding back.
So just let my future self just like totally call me out of my BS.
Let him have it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, tell me, hey, you still haven't finished that novel you started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or, that podcast you're always talking about. It's never going to happen.
Okay, all right. So brutal honesty.
Brutal honesty.
Right. So I've got my relatable crisis. I've got my awkward dialogue. I've got my brutal self-critique.
Yes.
What's the final step?
The final step is to end with both a warning and a chance.
A warning and a chance. What does that even mean?
Okay, so the warning is give your reader a glimpse of the potential consequences of inaction.
Okay.
Show them where their current path might lead if they don't make a change.
All right. I can see how that would be motivating.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you also offer them a chance.
Okay.
A glimmer of hope.
Oh,
A path to redemption.
So, like, hey, you're wasting your life, but it's not too late to turn things around.
Exactly. It's like a combination of a scary movie and a self-help seminar.
Right.
Terrifying, yet strangely inspiring.
I like it.
Yeah.
So it's like planting a seed of doubt and then watering it with tough love.
It is. It is.
And then hopefully like
a little fertilizer in there as well.
And Pincourt says this is like really effective because
yes, because it makes the message stick.
Okay.
It triggers that self-reflection and it makes that message stick with you long after you finish reading.
So it's like that friend that you have.
Yes.
That's like brutally honest with you.
We all have that one friend.
Or like, ugh, I hate it when you're right.
Yes.
But they're always right.
But you need that friend.
Yeah.
You need that friend.
It's like that, but it's you 30 years from now.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why it's so effective, because it's coming from a place of like
deep understanding.
Yeah, and hopefully like genuine concern for your well-being.
It better be
for your future self.
Yeah, so it's not just about like writing a good story or anything.
Right.
It's about using writing as a tool.
Yes.
For self-discovery.
Self-discovery, personal growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Powerful stuff. Yeah, and who knows, maybe in the process of like confronting your future self.
Yeah.
On the page, you might learn something about how to like live a better life now.
Live a more fulfilling life in the present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're talking about this conversation with your future self thing. Yeah. And Pinkwart says like it's not just this abstract philosophical thing, Right. It's actually a practical tool for personal growth.
I'm all about personal growth.
Yeah, and for better writing too.
So how does talking to my future self make my writing better? Is it just like, dear future me, make my writing more awesome?
Not exactly, but remember those 4 steps we were talking about?
Yeah.
Like those are key to making this technique work, both for you as a writer and for your audience.
Got it.
So think of it as a way to add depth, vulnerability, and a touch of, holy crap, that's me in 30 years to your writing.
Okay, so remind me what the 4 steps were.
Okay, so first you start with a relatable crisis. Something that grabs your reader's attention and makes them think, oh man, I've been there.
Yeah, like that feeling when you realize you just spent 3 hours scrolling through cat videos.
Right.
Instead of working on that project that was due yesterday.
Or the whole TikTok meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's tapping into these universal anxieties, the fear of wasting time, the pressure to achieve our goals, the existential dread of realizing we're all just tiny specks in a vast and uncaring universe.
Cheerful stuff.
Right.
So step 1, start with the crisis, something that makes people feel seen.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
What's next?
What's next?
Okay, then you bring the reader directly into the dialogue.
Okay.
Make them feel like they're eavesdropping on this incredibly personal and potentially awkward conversation with your future self.
So it's not just about me reflecting on my own life.
Yeah.
It's about making the reader feel like they're in the room
Yes.
with me while I'm getting roasted by my future self.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's about creating a sense of intimacy and immediacy.
Okay.
It's like you're inviting the reader
Yeah.
to confront their own future selves right alongside you.
Okay. I can see how that would be effective,
Right.
but also kind of terrifying.
Well, that's part of the fun, isn't it?
That's true.
Embracing the uncertainty,
Mm.
the potential for awkwardness
Yeah.
and discomfort.
Yeah.
And remember, step 3 is be raw and honest in the dialogue. No sugarcoating, no holding back.
So, like, I'm just letting future me just unleash all of their criticism.
Let them have it.
You still haven't finished that novel?
Yeah.
That podcast is never going to happen.
Exactly.
Okay. Ouch.
You got to confront those harsh truths, those nagging doubts that we often try to ignore.
All right. I've got my relatable crisis. I've got my awkward dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got my brutal self-critique.
Yes.
What's the final step?
Final step is to end with both a warning and a chance.
A warning and a chance.
It's a delicate balance.
What does that mean?
Okay, so give your reader a glimpse of the potential consequences in action.
Mm.
Show them where their current path might lead if they don't make a change.
I see where you're going with this.
But then you also want to offer them a chance.
Okay.
A glimmer of hope.
So it's like, hey, you're wasting your life, but it's not too late to turn things around.
Yes, essentially, yes.
Yeah.
It's about injecting a sense of urgency,
Yeah.
but also empowering the reader to make a change.
Yeah.
It's about saying, look, I've seen how this story ends.
Right?
Trust me, you don't want to go down that path.
Okay.
You have the power to choose a different ending.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good mix.
It's like a cautionary tale and a pep talk all in one.
Yeah, scare the reader straight, but
Yeah.
then give them the tools to fix it.
Exactly. And Pinkwart believes this is effective because it triggers that self-reflection.
Yeah.
And it makes the message stick with you
Yeah.
long after you've finished reading.
So it's like that, like, wise friend
Yeah.
that's always telling you what you need to hear,
Ugh, we all have that one friend.
even when you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this case, it's you from the future.
And that's why it's so effective, because it's coming from a place of a deep understanding and
Yeah.
hopefully genuine concern for your well-being.
So it's not just about, writing a good story.
No.
It's about using writing as a tool
Yeah. It's
to, like, improve yourself.
self-discovery, personal growth,
Yeah.
powerful stuff.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe in the process of, like, writing this and confronting my future self, I figure out how to live a better life now.
Yeah. Live a more fulfilling life in the present.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Powerful stuff.
So it's like therapy, but cheaper.
Right.
And I get to make up the dialogue.
Exactly. And speaking of dialogue and making things up,
Yeah.
Pinkwart recommended this book, Poetry Master.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it seems like he thinks poetry is a good path towards having this type of conversation.
Poetry, like rhyming couplets and sonnet.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about, like, honest self-reflection here.
Right. But he seems to think that poetry, with its emphasis on, like concision and emotional depth,
Okay.
can be a really powerful tool for exploring these like uncomfortable truths
Mm.
and anxieties.
It's like a therapy session.
Yeah.
But, like, distilled into a few lines of verse.
Yeah, less talking, more rhyming.
More efficient.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Pinkwart says this book, Poetry Master,
Yeah.
delves into all sorts of techniques that can help you make your writing
Yeah.
more impactful, insightful, and maybe even life-changing.
Okay, so what kind of secrets does this book hold? Like, is it going to teach me how to write haikus about my existential dread?
Well, I haven't read the whole thing,
Okay.
but he suggests that it covers everything from the nuances of dialogue to the power of dark humor.
Dialogue and dark humor.
Yeah,
That sounds like my kind of poetry slam.
it does, doesn't it?
But,
Yeah.
but seriously, I mean, those seem like pretty essential elements
Oh, absolutely.
for having a conversation with your future self.
Especially if that future self is prone to brutal honesty.
Right. And sarcasm.
And sarcastic quips.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So Pinkwart also mentions that the book talks about vulnerability in writing,
Oh, yeah.
which I guess makes sense.
Absolutely.
If you're going to bare your soul to your future self,
You got to be vulnerable, right?
you might as well go all in.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe that vulnerability will resonate with readers too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it helps them confront their own anxieties.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like a chain reaction of self-improvement.
Yeah, it's like It's like we all get better
Yeah.
just by having this one conversation.
Just from reading this one article
Yeah.
and this one book.
So as we kind of wrap up here,
Yeah.
I'm curious, what would you ask your future self if you had the chance?
Yeah, like what burning questions would you have?
What advice would they give you?
Yeah, would they tell you to invest in Bitcoin?
Or to finally write that novel?
Or just to floss more regularly?
Yeah, think about it.
What are you doing today to
Yeah.
create the future that you really want?
Because ultimately, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
It's not about dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. It's about taking action now.
It's about taking action in the present.
So if you're looking for a little bit of guidance, Piqua recommends checking out Poetry Master, Poetry Power in 7 Days.
There you go.
It just might give you the tools you need to have that conversation with your future self.
It just might change your life.
Become a better... And hey, if you write a killer poem
Yeah.
about the whole thing,
Send it our way.
send it to us. We'd love to read it.
Love to. Yeah.
So until next time,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those conversations with your future selves going.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.
See ya.
Ciao for now, Stefan.